instruction there from the beaten player that was Debbie Rani. In football parlance, she was nutmegged by a ball straight through her. Down to the corner. Another circle penetration for Singapore. Can they get it across the face of goal? Waiting at the back post was Tiffany Yong. It doesn't get that far. Not this time anyway. And Feriana, the captain, in 10. Sees it to temporary safety. Field hockey these days played in 4 quarters. And Singapore just couldn't get a swing at that one. The tackle was too quick for Atika Abdul. Olivia Kabarek. '17 is Debbie Rani. Pretty easy interception there the first time around from Rani. Now Jiri. That's turned out to be a good ball. A slight deflection off the defence, but Sanik takes it further. But no trap there, unfortunately, for Tiffany Yong. Just hesitated on a run. If she'd kept on it, I think there was a little communication breakdown. Not a serious one, but there'll be better chances. '19 is Rehan Uno for Indonesia. Oh, good determined effort from Isnawati, and she gets it again almost to the edge of the circle, and the free hit is Indonesia's. Take it quickly. Now the whistle blows in favour of Singapore. Well, they've been playing with a bit more freedom, Singapore, than in the opening minutes against Malaysia. That's about the quality of the opposition, I suppose, but they do look more confident. There's a little accidental kick of the ball, so that's Indonesia's hit. I wasn't quite right about the sequence of numbering in the Indonesian team. As I look down again, he goes 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So they've left out the 4s, and many of you will know that, of course, 4 is not the favourite number in some cultures. It's considered a little unlucky. Just as 8 is considered to be lucky. We're a superstitious creature, aren't we? There's no reason for some of the things we do. No good reason. Doesn't stop us doing it. Indonesia is trying to bring it away from their defensive quarter. Free hit to Singapore, though. Good tight contest over the ball, and Feriana has to surrender the ball, though. Free hit taken quickly, and there's nearly a deflection. And Atika Abdul was very close with the outstretched left hand. This went straight through, and there she is. Oh, but the stick just bobbled, and on another day she might have got that one. Didn't need much. This is more promising from Indonesia. Here's Isnawati again. And Ratana Singh. Ooh, that's come in a bit high. 18 is Diana Nazar. She's come off the bench. So rolling subs, of course, in field hockey. So it comes back to Ratana Singh. So that's about the best attacking play we've seen so far from Indonesia. And David Viner for Singapore, not very happy that the defence allowed that. Pretty comfortable interception made by Singapore. Tam Wan Ting. Here's a shot perhaps on the reverse now. Clash of sticks, and that will be Indonesia's ball. Zini Chua, it was, who had the stick collision. Well, that's been a good pass from Masriana. Some space to work with in midfield for Singapore that time, but gets away from Atika Abdul. Isnawati is working well down this left flank. Gee, that looked like it came off an Indonesian player. They thought so too, I think. Simajuntak takes it for Indonesia. Atika Abdul wins that exchange. Leaves it behind her teammate, and she moves ahead. And this is more relaxed about the way and the position of where free hits are taken these days, but that was a little too far away from the right spot. Jera Leong had to get reset, and Indonesia have defended well. Oh, very well. Nurasaya bumps it ahead. This is looking promising for Indonesia. The challenge from behind by Nurasaya was a little clunky, and the umpire blew in Singapore's favour. That's, well, looked like a good tackle from Feriana. Can't see everything from up here though. Sunny plays it to the top of the circle. Singapore just a little slow to react once it got there. Here's the shot, and oh, it could have been a deflection in. Sunny blasted it in. And Tam Wan Ting was there. It's just something between a cross and the shot. Best chance of the match, I think, so far, which is now 11 minutes old. full 15-minute quarters. Well, it's deflected its way to the top of the Singapore circle. And a little bit casual about getting it away from there. Cherry Leong seemed to know what she was doing. She's a bit out of position now and has to rush back. Free hit Indonesia. Well, Singapore very slow to get this free hit taken. Now we're underway. Might just be trying to pace themselves on what's still a hot afternoon. Nicely played through by Tam Wan Ting, looking for Zini Chua. Captain of Singapore, plays it out to Tam Wan Ting. Hong Zai in 20, Tam Wan Ting in 10. Singapore trying to stretch this Indonesian defence. Here's Nawadi, swap sides, venturing down the right flank now, has it again. Steadily making progress up this right side. Expecting a whistle there, Indonesia, from a foot off Singapore, but it didn't come. Singapore will make a good dispossession here. Tam Wan Ting did well. Should be looking to get it back, but the defence is there at the top of the circle. Wong Zhao. Two defenders on it, and that's enough. Thumped up the park by Nurasaya. Now Debbie Rani. Rani. Just trying to get it to Rehan Uno. 19. Inside the last minute of the first quarter, Singapore with the best chance the first 15 minutes. Just needed a tiny deflection and they would have had a goal for their efforts. Jinglek with the restart, and it's going to go all the way across. Off Indonesia though, so they can press ahead through Wong Zai. And I think we're going to go goalless through the first 15 minutes. There's not time now for Singapore to get into a goal scoring position. That's that. So just good even contest. Isnawadi had to sit out the last minute or so of the quarter, being shown a green card at quarter time. It's Indonesia 0, Singapore 0. A little bit slow to get the second quarter underway, but now we have, and it's Indonesia who managed to frustrate Singapore through the first 15 minutes. Coach of Singapore, David Viner, wasn't happy with the urgency shown by the team. It's not carrying out his pre-match instructions to the letter. No one really backing up the miss. Tan Wan Ting wasn't far from it. See if she can stop the hit up the park. She does. At least get something on it. Handayani for Indonesia. Om Mulfat is the coach for Indonesia. Saiza just not being able to string the passes together either side, really. It doesn't take long for a change of possession. Nurasaya, well challenged by Cheryl Chia. Brighter stuff from Zini Chia now. Chia back to the top of the circle, trying to back away in was Ivy Chan. Chua looking for Chan again. It was a useful little overhead, but also a good interception from Cheryl Chia. So still no score. 2.5 minutes into second quarter. No penalty corners either in that first quarter. It's a hint to the low number of circle penetrations. Indonesia well dispossessed this time by Saiza Jeffrey. Weho with a little bit of space to work in. Push it over to this right side. Wong Zhe does make its way into the circle through Tan Wan Ting, and it's off an Indonesian player. Singapore, what can they do this time? Pohui pushes it to the right once more. Saban back to the captain. This is better protection of the ball from Singapore. Who's available? They find a channel there. Top of the circle they are. Finally the green shirts dispossess a promising challenge from Singapore. There's Nawadi just backing back. Players from both teams occasionally guilty of just sort of dwelling on the ball, and as soon as they look up for someone to pass to, the tackle arrives. Indonesia without a really telling entry into the circle that time. Didn't look like they had much of a plan. Poor trap from Indonesia allows Singapore to sweep on again. Here's Rafka Sanip. Oh, that had promise about it. Tan Wan Ting just couldn't beat her opponent. They got down to that right side very quickly. It was an efficient attack from Singapore. Saban. India's done well. Keeper has to come. It's at her feet. And now Indonesia finally get it out of the circle. Saban. Dangerous looking ball. Indonesia a bit hesitant getting it out. And a penalty corner comes the way of Singapore finally. Well, that come off an Indonesian stick into her own player. Tolimin with the drag. So here's a Jeffrey to trap it. David Viner watching. Will have sent out his instructions for what the first option or two would be. Oh, that had some pace about it. Didn't have the target though. Oh, that was close from Jerry Leong. Didn't miss that by much. He's on again. Beats one, but not two. Played ahead by Saiza. Can't get it away from the danger zone at the moment, Indonesia. Jerry Leong plays it up towards Saneep. Saneep looking for an option. Indonesia desperately trying to keep it out of the circle, and that was a useful bit of defence to make Singapore play it over the back line via Atika Abdul in 4. Uno. Well, I thought she did well, but there was Pui Ho to clean up for Singapore. Excellent run from Harajita. Hajarita beat a couple there. Oh, that took a bit of a deflection, and no one was quick enough to react. Hajarita was not far away. Oh, but it went behind her. Singapore the hit, played on quickly by Tolimin. Finding some space now, Singapore. It's a good interception by Olivia Kabarek. Indonesia continued to struggle in the second quarter to get it out of their half. When they do, it's not for long. I mean, why wouldn't you play the advantage? I mean, that's bad umpiring, really. The player who was fouled is on her way, and that's just poor umpiring. Play the advantage. It's exasperating, really. It'll stop the flow of the game for no good purpose. Don't disadvantage the non-offending team. Anyway, Singapore have it where they want it, down deep into Indonesia's defensive quarter. Ho. Lek. the goalkeeper can let that one go. It wasn't touched in the circle. Just one for the crowd. Sometimes the crowd cheer those just for fun. Or unless, of course, they don't know the rules, but the goalkeepers certainly do. Don't have to make a save on those ones, unless it's touched by an attacking stick. Ong. Tiffany Ong comes again. 4 or 5 green shirts around her. She can't possibly escape, can she? No, she can't. Swept across by Jerry Ong. Now this is Saban. On to Abdul. And Indonesia can at least push up to the quarter line. Olivia Kabarek to take this one. 4 minutes left in the second quarter. Penalty corner was nearly converted by Singapore. They've had much the better of this quarter. Sometimes you can play ever so well and just not score. That's been pretty much the story. They are beating players. They look to have more pace about their work. Here's a chance. Keeper's come well off the line. Oh, and the shot was not quite what Ivy Chan had in mind. Keeper came well out. That was Sally Florentina, the keeper for Indonesia. And Ivy Chan might have been surprised to see her so far off a line. And perhaps you can say that's good goalkeeping. Pushed through by Tiffany Ong off an Indonesian stick. So with less than 3 minutes left in the quarter, Singapore using their size and speed to make inroads, but not make goals yet. Keeper lets another one go through harmlessly. Now, these two teams tend not to score a lot of goals against each other. I mentioned the scores in the 2 matches they played 2 years ago. 1-0 for Singapore in the round robin play. 1-0 for Singapore to win the bronze medal. Well, keeper protects that across the line from the fast advancing Zini Chua. Nearly took out the attacker. Chua would come off second best in this collision. Seconds left in the second quarter. Laura Tan loses out to weight of numbers. Hit away by Ratnanan Singh. On 15 is Novelia Kabarek. Sister Olivia also in the team. Hockey around the world is often a family sport. Keeper kicks that one gently away, but does enough. Rumbiak bumps it up the pitch. Singapore with time to mount another raid if they're efficient. Pass from Toli Min. On the reverse, a shot from Tiffany Ong. Might be all the action we see in the second quarter, and still no goals. The overhead will ensure that's the case. Well, just recapping that Singapore had the better of the second quarter, including a penalty corner, which was very close to being on target. But we're still at 0-0 between Indonesia and Singapore.
Tarik nafas panjang. Tarik nafas.
Action recommences in this match between Indonesia and Singapore. Goals still hard to find, as they seemingly always are when these teams meet. But the dominance of Singapore can't be denied. They had 15 entries into the circle to 2 in that first half and had 77% of territory. So, in other words, 77% of the time they were in Indonesia's half. Some confusion over whose ball this is and where it's to be taken. Indonesia called back to the halfway line. It was more of a hit and hope. Bobbling ball beats the defence of Jeffrey. Masriana loses out there. Cheryl Chia. David Viner has been in control of this Singapore team as coach for a couple of years now, taking over after the last Southeast Asian Games in Singapore. Australian-born coach who's coached around Europe, Belgium, England and France. A distinguished playing career, particularly with the University of Western Australia Hockey Club. Where he's on the list of playing legends. This is better stuff from Indonesia. They've got it to the edge of the circle. Nurasaya. Not quite sure why the umpire let that one go. Totally Min. That was lifted in. That was just flat out dangerous. Normally that kind of lifted hit would be called. Indonesia didn't realise it was their free hit. Masriana takes it off Singapore. Taking the direct route to Indonesia, hoping for a mistake in front of goal, but there's not to be one. Singapore will know to expect they've got to do some defending in this match, even though they've been the better side by some margin. Leong. Good technique on the overhead. Gives the teammate Zenichura a good chance to get to it, and she does. Barak just a bit slow to get out of the way, and I think Zenichura was trying to take advantage of that. Just need to make some smart decisions here, but the defence have enough numbers to see them away again. Indonesia pushing up out of the circle, trying to stop the attack there. Isnawati playing towards the safety of the sideline. Pushing ahead now, looking for the return ball from Rehan Uno. It occurred to me that it'd be fun if Uno was a keeper, and then Uno would be number one. Leave you with that puerile thought. Rumbiak. One halfway for Singapore. Oh, smack it ahead. Well, you see, that's a lifted hit, and the one earlier that was into the more crowded circle was not whistled, and you're entitled to ask why not, and entitled to ask for consistency in those kinds of interpretations. That's what the players crave. That one just too quick for Diana Nazar to catch. Debbie Rani. I like the look of this from Suito. Shot on the reverse is missed. So a couple of good circle penetrations in this third quarter for Indonesia, having only had 2 in the whole match prior. First attempt was blocked by the stick of Toli Min. The second was just a miss on the reverse. Feriani. Oh, that's a good ball. Irianti. Good interception from Cheryl Chia there just to slow down Indonesia. They're playing a lot better in this third quarter. Their urgency is up. Ivy Chan gets rid of it just in time. But Rumbiak has done well. Good battle there between those two, Nazar and Wangzhe. Wong plays it back. I want to get it out of here. Oh, that's sloppy work at the back. And nice pressing up high by the Indonesian attackers in defence. Forced the error out of Singapore. They didn't do much with it, unfortunately, Indonesia. Played off the foot, and at least the umpire at the time was looking for advantage. Now it's got to come back. So came off Indonesian foot. It was a vain chase from Tam Wee Ting. Ho. Singapore now trying to camp themselves again in Indonesia's half. Sanip. Sanip's got it again, a little fortunately, and a penalty corner. It's come off an Indonesian foot. Admirable determination there from Rivka Sanip. She lost possession and kept her foot out of the way and dragged it on to that of Juasi. Just the second penalty corner of the match. Leong. So the defender away early. And that means she has to stay out of the retaken attempt. And Singapore made a little bit of a mess of that one. I spend many hours practicing the skills that revolve around taking penalty corners, the drag, the trap, and then shooting and flicking towards the target. This is a pretty good surface. You wouldn't think that the ball bobbled on its way to the top of the circle. Chan. Ivy Chan looks up, looks for some help. Hose there. .520 left in the third. That wasn't a great option. Yeah, that's just got away under the stick of Laura Tan. Chance for Indonesia to maybe make it towards Singapore circle. Isnawati takes herself ahead. Plenty of Singapore shirts back. Jeffrey plays it away from danger. Good tackle from Ira Juasi to prevent the attackers getting their way towards the circle. She had someone coming at her pretty hard. Made a clean tackle. Oh, using a pace. Good control. The effort's taken a little bit out of it. Sweeps it into the circle. Singapore can come again. Saban. Lek tidies up. Lek uses her strength to beat one. But putting the stick in there was Irianti. They're pretty disciplined in and around the circle, Indonesia, in defence. Ooh. They don't give Singapore any time over the ball. That's a good example as Rumbiak came rushing out as Singapore hesitated over just what to do next. Jeffrey, swings at it and misses. Saiza Malt Jeffrey had a chance. It was a difficult one. Went to tomahawk it and just swung straight over the top. .220 left in the third. Still looking for a goal in this match between Indonesia and Singapore. best moments for Indonesia in the whole game probably came at the start of this third quarter, where they had a couple of good looks. One very good circle entry that could well have ended in a goal. Had 2 shots at it. Umpire's happy. A couple of the Indonesian players with the overhead skill well drilled. Jeffrey still going, and Singapore get the hit, quickly taken by Ajurita. Got some space to work with here, players overlapping on the right. Jean Lek brings it back inboard for Sanip. Sanip into the circle. Sanip again. Just too many numbers back. Free hit right on the edge for Singapore, and they get on with it quickly. Rifka Sanip. The skills let her down that time. Clash of sticks, no whistle. Here's a chance for Singapore, and that's come off the Singapore foot. Ajurita, unfortunately. And that is all there is in the third quarter. It's probably the brightest of the three in terms of entertainment and adventurous attacking hockey, but we still have nothing to show for it in terms of goals. At three-quarter time, Indonesia 0, Singapore 0.
With the score, Indonesia 0.
Go, go, go!
Hang on. Sophia, Cheryl.
15.
The same midfield, please. The same midfield.
Let's go, let's go.
And the same strikers. No, do it.
8,
Yes.
7.
Yeah, you haven't got them there yet. Try. Hard. Try. No. Go.
Final quarter of this match between Indonesia and Singapore. Can a goal be found? Or will the Indonesian defence, which is the one that's been tested more, hold on for another 15 minutes? Good tackle there from Jeffrey. Tiffany Ong. Ball spills the way of Indonesia now. And Rani. A bit crowded on this near side. To Lee Min. Wins on the whistle, but sends a ball just too far ahead of a teammate. And that'll give Indonesia possession on that far side. Warumbiak rushes up to take it. Oh, good ball. Not accepted though. Tiffany Ong had a chance, but the tackle was right at her shoulder, that being Masriani. There she is again, Masriana. Oh, turned her opponent around in circles. Laura Tan, that was fun to watch. I don't think it was fun for her opponent, who was made to look a little bit ordinary by the dribbling skills of Tan. Yeah, a big push in the back on Tam Win Teng. It was outside the circle, but if it's bad enough, the umpires are entitled to blow it. catch the early part of that, and she thought that the umpire may not have been able to see that. Thanks for that. I'll just dry my stick, perspiration off the handle on your uniform. Is that okay? No? Yep. Totally min. Drag it in for Singapore. We have to hurry this up a little bit. Play on. Gee, that was close to the edge of the circle where the shot was taken eventually by Caesar Jeffrey. Just looked a little unsure here about execution. I think that shot might even have been outside the circle. The goalkeeper, I wonder if she knew that. Well, it didn't matter, it was just slightly off target. She watched it safely go by her left post. As Indonesia take it up over halfway. Ooh. 12 minutes left in this match. Who can find that special moment? Might take more than one person. You'll need some good passes leading up to a good shot, or perhaps a penalty corner will do it. But Singapore on their first couple looked that threatening. The very first was not far wide of the target, to be fair. Oh, it's a bad miss from Cheryl Chia, and she's doing her best to make up for it. Did initially. Oh, wow. That seemed a bit tough on Indonesia to me. A little bit of everything in this challenge. I would have thought Indonesian player had rights to it. Doesn't matter now, and it doesn't matter what I think. Possession 55% favouring Singapore. Territory in the first half was 77% to them. Caesar. Crashed into, oh, it's come off the post. Now, that's interesting. The goalkeeper was quite happy to let it go. That could have been really unfortunate for the Indonesian keeper here. It's hit the post, and if it had rebounded out to an attacking player, they could have had a crack at it. It would have been an unfair way for Sally Florentina to concede a goal. But we alert to the possibility. Rehan Uno. Laura Tan. Oh, that's poor. So he's didn't give a teammate a chance there. Rifka Sanip. 24. 9 minutes left for Singapore to find something. Maybe it'll come now. Penalty corner, played onto a foot. Smart option maybe by Ivy Chan. Didn't have a lot of teammates high in attack, so she just swung the ball around onto a foot. She was probably looking for Rifka Sanip. Found the next best option. Sally Florentina face the music once more. Totally mint. Let's see if Singapore can execute here. They need a good drag. Solid trap. Oh, there we are. That's what they were looking for. Jerry Leong has absolutely buried this. It has taken a deflection off the advancing defender's stick. Oh, that had plenty on it. Can't hit it much sweeter than that. The keeper did well to go to her right after that deflection, but there was no stopping it. And Jerry Leong gets the goal that was so much needed and probably deserved for Singapore. In the 52nd minute, so 8 to go. Hockey, of course, used to be 2 35-minute halves. Now it's 4 15-minute quarters. And you ask yourself where the other 10 minutes went. Well, the clock stops a bit more often in this version of the game. So we'll probably still get the same amount of play. Halfway through the last. Well, I was only just putting the question out there about where that goal might come from. Would it be field play or a penalty corner? And perhaps unkindly suggested that Singapore hadn't shown us enough from the penalty corners to suggest they'd make one. But Jerry Leong knew otherwise. Chu was off to the races there. Ivy Chan, another penalty corner. Singapore players sharing a joke. Ivy Chan has it on her stick. Suito, was she unlucky to be called for that? I don't know whether there was an earlier sort of touch on the stick of Ivy Chan, but there seemed to be a lot wrong with that tackle. See if they can do it again. Totally mint. Still lining up for a shot here. Thank you very much. And it's Jerry Leong again. How often do you see that? It looks like you've made a mess of the penalty corner, but it disorientates the defence. They've got certain things in mind that they must do from the penalty corner, and then when the opposition, the attacking team, fumbles it, it still presents opportunities. And Singapore were awake to theirs. That's a top flick. She's just dragged that in, leaving the keeper no chance. So Sally Florentina has seen 2 go past her in just a few minutes. This is good technique. If you coach David Viner, you would be delighted with that. And the Singapore team is. Jerry Leong gets a second. It's 2 and 3 minutes. Singapore should be able to see it out here, but they don't want to be relaxing. Singapore's safest way to see this to the finish is to keep the ball down this left-hand end. And with scoreline as it is, Indonesia, they want to take something from the game. They need to start pressing. If they can get the ball. Stop by Saban, but then seen away from the top of the circle by Captain Feriani. Rani, 17, leaves it. Feriani again. Come off a Singapore leg, but advantage played. Does come into the circle. Keeper, well, initially kicked it away, and then one of her teammates stopped it leaving the circle, which was not the best outcome for Singapore. And Indonesia asking for the penalty corner. They really haven't had too much joy out of the umpires. I think a couple of the 50-50 decisions have gone against them. That said, Singapore deserve, on the strength of their possession and territory, and to be in front. And there's a lovely circle entry here, but the good work of Atika undone by the last attempt to find a teammate. It came up into the body of a defender, and umpire blow the whistle on that. Under 4 minutes now. Well, that was neatly played by Laura Tan. Feriani asks why. We'll get an explanation later. Abdul off the foot. Yep. Atika Abdul. Did well there. David Viner looking a bit too serious for a coach who's in a very winning position. He gives us a smile at the end. Got to be happy with Gerald Leong's contribution of 2 goals from the last 2 penalty corners. Oh, the good save from Sally Florentina. Good chase from Jean Leck. Shut that one down. 250. Indonesia got to play some people forward and hope that a long ball might find them, like they've done here. Olivia Kabarak. But now To Lim In comes away for Singapore. Plays it shrewdly into her opposite. Got to put some players in the circle. With only 2 up, I don't know how they expect to create a goal, and so few players willing to come forward. Debbie Rani. Rani get another look. No, she won't. It's well protected by Hajarita. Hajarita on the overlap. Good run from her. Still has it. Still has it. Hajarita into the circle. Oh, yes! Hajarita must have run 60 metres to help create that goal. Well, this is a great finish. And Ivy Chan. Oh, sorry, that's Tiffany Ong. Tiffany Ong gets her name on the score sheet. But that goal belongs, well, almost entirely to Hajarita. Tiffany Ong. The second last minute of the game. Hajarita Johanna, just an amazing run down the right. Just stamina, skill, beat 2 or 3 players, put it on a plate for Tiffany Ong, and that's put Singapore well out of reach. Just reminding you that 2 years ago they played each other twice, these teams, and it was 1-0 both times to Singapore. So to get a third, be pretty pleased. Can't get a fourth though. Hajarita there, she's got to be exhausted from the efforts of setting up that goal from Ong, because she ran so far, so hard, and be pretty excited about the outcome. They do get a fourth. Tam Win Ting. A mooted celebration from her. But they've fallen apart at the back, Indonesia now. A couple of penalty corners and now 2 field goals. And Singapore, she was very patient, Tam Win Ting. Just waited and waited and waited till the ball was ready to be hit and she could see the target. I think she went through the pads of Florentina. She did indeed. Yep. Tam Win Ting, with time all but up, gets a goal as well. Well, we went through 3 goalless quarters, and Singapore have found 4 in the last. Penalty corners to Geraldine Ong in the 52nd and 54th minutes, well converted by her. And Tiffany Ong's goal finishing a great lead up from Hajarita, and Tam Win Ting in the last minute completing it to make it a scoreline of Singapore 4, Indonesia 0. Well, aren't they pleased? That song in 19. Picking up a couple. It certainly helps your for and against, keeping a clean sheet and knocking in 4. So congratulations to the Singapore team on a gritty performance. They were frustrated through 3 quarters, but they got the rewards they deserved, and they won this one, defeating Indonesia by 4 goals to 0.